Musa was born in a shack, raised on Accra, and wired for greatness. In the town of Kibula, where dreams rust faster than bicycle chains, he stood out. No father. No money. Just a brain that wouldn't sleep, and a mother, Mama Kemi, who sold fried bean cakes and zobo at a roadside stall while singing Yoruba lullabies to fight the heat and hunger. While other boys chased thrills and bet away their future under mango trees, Musa was inside a dusty internet cafe, learning to code on a cracked laptop, fixing dead radios, and sketching wild inventions in his school notebook. His dream? To become Africa's greatest tech innovator, and change the story of his people. They laughed at him. You? Musa the Accra boy? Go sweep compound. This one thinks he's the Mark Zuckerberg of the trenches. But Musa kept building, with scrap parts, solar wires, and raw vision. Then one dry afternoon, a flyer flew into his hands like fate. The Wasa Tech Challenge, win 5 million Nigerian Nairas plus startup grant. Final pitch in the capital. We're looking for brilliant minds to build Africa's future. Musa's heart pounded. This was it. And just beneath the bold letters, one name stopped him cold. Judge, Zara Wasa, heiress to the Wasa tech empire. The same Zara who once said in an interview, "I'm not looking for a rich man. I'm looking for a real one, with vision." That day, standing in the dust with the flyer in his hands, Musa made a vow. I will build something so powerful, the world won't ignore it. For Mama. For Kibula. For her. And from that moment forward, Musa wasn't chasing money. He was chasing legacy. Kibula had no tech hub, no mentorship programs, and barely enough electricity to keep cold water in the fridge. But Musa didn't care. He had a cracked laptop, a notebook full of ideas, and a hunger bigger than the hole in his shoes. Every night, he sat in the corner of their small home, under the dim, flickering light of a kerosene lantern, writing lines of code on his ancient machine. The screen glitched like a haunted mirror, but Musa made it work. He studied Python, JavaScript, circuit boards, and solar energy systems. And when the power cut out, as it always did, he powered his laptop with a homemade solar battery he built from discarded phone parts. Mama Kemi watched him in silence. She didn't fully understand what her son was building, but she saw the fire in his eyes, the same fire his father once had before fate swallowed him. Musa, she said one night, handing him a bowl of pap. You're digging your future with bare hands. But the ground doesn't know the difference between a stick and a shovel. Just keep digging. Musa smiled, kissed her forehead, and returned to his screen. Days turned to nights, and nights to weeks. He had an idea that wouldn't let him sleep. A solar-powered mini-server that could bring internet access to remote African villages. Cheap. Durable. Smart. He called it Sunlink. But to build a working prototype for the Wasa Tech Challenge, he needed parts, components that were expensive, rare, or both. So Musa did what he always did. He hustled. He fixed radios for boda riders. Helped students unlock their smartphones. Even repaired a broken blender for the town's popular umla joint in exchange for leftover food. One afternoon, while scavenging at the local junk market known as Second Chance Ground, he found a treasure, an old, rusted server board tossed aside by a university student. Cracked, dusty, missing parts, but Musa saw it like gold. How much? Nigerian Naira 3000. I only have 1,500 Nigerian Nairas. Then go away. But if I fix it and it works, I'll fix your entire sound system for free. The trader squinted, curious. Deal. That night, Musa brought the junk home like a holy relic. He wiped it down, pulled out his tools, and began the resurrection. By sunrise, it buzzed softly, alive. That was the moment he knew, Sunlink was real. He entered the Wasa Tech Challenge the next morning, submitting his application with trembling fingers and bloodshot eyes. Across town, in a high-rise in the city, Zarawasa scrolled through submissions. She paused on one. Sunlink, decentralized solar microservers for remote internet access. Applicant, Musa Kemi, Kibula town. She raised an eyebrow. Kibula? Never heard of it. She clicked preview. A short demo video played. Grainy. Shaky. But clear. A boy, with passion in his voice, explaining his vision. I don't just want to be great. I want every forgotten child to connect to the world. This is for us. The ones who were never supposed to win. Zara leaned forward. Interesting. Back in Kibula, Musa refreshed his email every hour. Until one day, it came. Subject, congratulations, you're a finalist. See you in Lagos. Musa dropped to his knees. Mama Kemi cried. The whole street erupted with joy. The Accra seller's son was going to Lagos. To chase his future. And maybe, something more. Lagos. To some, it was the land of dreams. To others, a beast with no mercy, fast, loud, and always hungry. To Musa, it was both. The moment he stepped out of the battered intercity bus at Ojota terminal, clutching his worn backpack and prototype wrapped in cloth, he felt the city breathe around him. A thunderstorm of horns, hawkers, shouting, and smoke. Aspirin. Gala. Cold pure water. Fine boy, where you dey go? Taxi day here. Make I carry am for you, Oga. He tightened his grip on the bag. Musa's entire life, his invention, his hope, his dream of love and legacy, was inside that bag. He had never been outside Kibula. Never seen buildings that touched the sky. Never crossed bridges over water so black it seemed to whisper. But here he was, one of 5 finalists in the Wasa Tech Challenge, invited to present his project at the elite Wasa Innovation Center, a glass tower in Victoria Island that looked like it belonged on another planet. He had 3 days to rehearse his pitch, fix final bugs in his demo, and prove he wasn't just some village boy with ambition. The organizers had booked him into a modest tech hostel in Yaba, tech house, shared rooms, basic Wi-Fi, and curious roommates who either ignored him or laughed at the way he greeted people with, "Good evening, sir," in full politeness. "You too Bush, bro," one of them snorted. "This is Lagos, not your village." But Musa didn't mind. He woke early. Worked late. Fixed code. Rewired his solar panel. Ran test after test. On the second night, the hostel's power went out. While the others cursed NEPA, Musa smiled and turned on Sunlink, powering his laptop with the same solar pack he built in Kibula. They stared. "Wait, this thing day work? Guy, who built this?" "Nah me," Musa said, without looking up. Respect followed. Meanwhile, across the island, Zarawasa sat at her father's desk, flipping through the finalists' portfolios. Slick websites, 3D, printed mock-ups, drone prototypes. Then she paused again, on Musa's name. She watched the video a second time. There was something raw about him. His eyes. His tone. His defiance. She leaned back and muttered. "I want him scheduled for the second day. I want to see him live." But Musa didn't know that. All he knew was Lagos was testing him. On his way back from an errand in Computer Village, he was stopped by 2 street boys who saw his prototype case. "Wedding day inside, guy. Nothing for Una. Please." They lunged. He ran. Through alleys. Over puddles. Ducking under clotheslines and dodging okadas. But they caught him by the bag and pulled hard, until a loud shout interrupted them. "Hey! Leave AM!" A tall girl in jeans and a yellow blouse stormed in like a lioness. She carried pepper spray and the confidence of someone who knew the streets. You know they see camera. This whole place they monitored now. The boys hissed and fled. Musa gasped. Thank you. I would have lost everything. The girl smiled. It's Lagos. Keep your eyes sharp. You never know who's watching. He stared at her. Something about her felt familiar. Wait, he said slowly. Do I know you? Doubt it, she said, walking off. Name's Z. Then she was gone, disappearing into the smoke and light of the city. Musa stood there, clutching his bag, heart pounding. He didn't know it yet, but Z was short for Zara. And fate had just brought them face to face. The Wasa Innovation Center didn't look real. It rose like a monument of power, glass, steel, and dreams forged into a single building. The guards wore suits. The elevators spoke in perfect British accents. The walls displayed giant digital screens showing tech breakthroughs, investor stats, and images of Zara Wasa, the Princess of Progress, as the media called her. Musa stood in the lobby, stunned. His shoes were dusty. His shirt, carefully ironed, was still second-hand. But in his bag was Sunlink, and in his chest, a lion. Finalists, this way please, a staff member called. He followed, joining the other four, sleek, city-born innovators with tablet presentations, polished English, and startup decks with logos and slogans. Musa kept quiet. The waiting room felt like the lion's den. Cameras. Reporters. Corporate scouts. Judges in fine agbadas and European suits. The energy was tense. Everyone was watching. Then came the moment. Next up, Musa Kemi, Project Sunlink. He stepped into the main hall. It was silent. Blinding lights. A massive curved table where 5 judges sat, including the chairman himself, Chief Benga Wasa, founder of Wasa Technologies and a legend in African business. But Musa's eyes locked on the 5th seat. Zara. She was dressed in a navy blue power suit, but her hair was braided down to her shoulder, with Kent earrings and fire in her gaze. She didn't smile. She simply nodded. Begin. Musa took a deep breath and placed Sunlink on the table. He spoke, not like a boy from a village, but like a man who had fought for every idea. In my town, children walk kilometers to find network signal. Farmers can't get price updates. Schools teach with torn textbooks. I built this to change that. He tapped a button. The device whirred to life, drawing power from its small solar array. A hotspot activated. On the screen behind him, real-time data streamed in from Kibula's borrowed server line, proof that Sunlink worked. With this, villages can access e-learning, e-health, market data, anywhere the sun shines. I call it Sunlink. Not because it's perfect, but because it's possible. Silence. Then a ripple of murmurs. Zara leaned forward. Tell me, Musa, how much did this cost you to build? Nigerian Naira 11,750, he said. Everything I had. The room gasped. She nodded. And if we gave you 5 million Nigerian Nairas? He looked her in the eyes. I'd connect 1,000 forgotten villages. Then I'd come back, and build something better. The hall erupted in applause. Even Chief Benga cracked a rare smile. As Musa stepped out, other finalists looked shaken. Back in the judge's room, one whispered, he's just a bush boy with a lucky idea. But Zara said nothing. She simply stared at the screen replaying his demo. Later that evening, as the sun died over the Lagos lagoon, Musa sat alone on the hostel rooftop. A familiar voice called out behind him. You did well today, Musa. He turned, shocked. Z. She stepped into the light. Or should I say, Zara? He blinked, stunned. You're. She smiled softly. I wanted to meet the boy behind the dream. And I was right. Why me? He asked, voice low. Because while others build for fame, she said, you build for people. Their eyes held for a moment longer than necessary. Then she whispered. But the challenge isn't over yet, Musa. Tomorrow, the lion roars. And with that, she turned and vanished into the city night again. But this time, she didn't feel so far away. The next morning, Musa woke to chaos. His hostel room was ransacked. His laptop, gone. His prototype, smashed. Tools scattered. Wires cut. The solar panel, missing. No, he shouted, falling to his knees. The receptionist shrugged. No cameras. No witnesses. Legos things, they said. But Musa knew. This wasn't theft. It was sabotage. One of the finalists had been watching. Maybe it was the sharp-tongued one with the drone. Or the quiet girl with the AI chatbot. Whoever it was, they weren't taking chances. The final day of the Wasa Tech Challenge was today. Judges were to select the winner based on their final presentation, live questions, and a real-time demo. Musa had nothing to present. He sat in the dust outside the hostel, head in his hands. His chest felt hollow. Everything he'd built, gone in one night. No money to replace it. No backup. Then his phone buzzed. Zara. Meet me. Now. Send your location. He hesitated, then typed. 15 minutes later, a sleek black car pulled up. Zara stepped out wearing a hoodie and jeans. No cameras. No pretense. She saw the wreckage in his hands. Her face darkened. Who did this? I don't know. And I don't care anymore. It's over. She knelt beside him. You think I built Wasa Tech without getting stabbed in the back? You think success smells like roses? What should I do? I have no device, no code, no. Musa, she interrupted, voice firm, you are the invention. The world can steal your tools. Not your mind. Then she pulled something from her bag, a sleek toolkit, a power bank, and her own tablet. Let's rebuild it. Together. Right now. And right there, in the hostel's cramped lobby, under flickering lights, they worked. Her fingers typed code while his rebuilt circuits. She soldered while he sketched. They laughed. Argued. Problem solved. Time vanished. When they were done, it wasn't perfect. It was messy. Ugly even. But it worked. Sunlink 2.0, reborn from ashes. Zara looked at him, eyes tired but proud. You're ready. Hours later, at the final showcase, the other contestants came in sharp and shiny, charts, drones, AI bots, touchscreen tech. Then came Musa. His shirt was rumpled. His eyes bloodshot. But he stood with Zara watching silently from the back row. He didn't pitch. He didn't read slides. He just told the truth. Somebody tried to break me. They smashed my work. Tried to steal my dream. But this device isn't made of metal. It's made of me. Of every boy with dust in his shoes and fire in his soul. He connected Sunlink 2.0 to the solar battery. The server blinked. The data streamed. The room went silent again. Then Chief Benga stood. Mr. Musa. You didn't come here to compete. You came to remind us why we build. Then came the words that changed his life. You've won. The room erupted. Reporters surged. Cameras flashed. But all Musa saw was Zara, smiling in the back. Not as a judge. But as something more.